Okay, so this is Halloween Adventures. Let's read the back first. Get ready for tricks, treats, and Halloween adventures. Join the Paw Patrol, Shimmer and Shine, and Blaze and the Monster Machines in this four spooky tales. Join these guys on the front. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so the table of contents is right here. Truck or treat, the spooky cabin, monster magic, howl for Halloween. Okay, let's go to it. This is going to be kind of a long book. Okay, notice there's candy in the little wheel area. You see all that candy, that yummy stuff? It was Halloween night in Axel City, and the monster machines were wearing their costumes. Starla was dressed as a witch. Zeg was a king. Stripe wore a pirate costume. And Darrington was an octopus. I'm looking for him. Okay, so there's the octopus right there. I'm looking for her. Okay, there she is. Wait, she's dressed like a witch. You see the witch hat? Okay, so let me see. Zeg was a king. I'm trying to... Okay, there he is. That's Zeg. And notice he has a crown on because he's a king. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Nice costume, guys. And said Blaze, who was dressed as a knight. That's Blaze. And he's dressed like a knight. Okay. Darrington noticed something nearby. That guy's got a costume just like mine, he said. Darrington, said Blaze, that's not someone in a costume. That's your shadow, Blaze. And AJ explained that when your body blocks a light source, it makes a shadow. The monster machines set down their candy buckets and made shadows in Blaze's bright light. When AJ held up his superhero cape, his shadow looked just like a big spooky bat. Okay, I'm looking for all this stuff. It's a lot going on, you guys. Look at all this. You see the spookiness? Okay, let's just get to the next page. Meanwhile, Crusher and Pickle were driving by. Okay, there they are, driving by. Halloween is the best, said Pickle. Just look at all the candy Blaze and his friends have. They're looking at all that yummy candy right there. Ooh, I want their candy, Crusher whispered greedily, and I know just how to get it. I don't know if he's talking about this candy over here. Crusher built a machine that started sucking up everyone's candy buckets, but before long, the machine began to bulge and smoke. Kaboom! It blew up. This little machine blew up, shooting the buckets of candy into the sky. All this candy just went into the sky. Blaze and his friends drove off after the candy. Using his visor view, AJ spotted it next to a barn outside Axel City. We've got to get to that barn before Crusher does, Blaze said. Zoom, they roared off toward the barn. There was a thick fog that night, and Stripes, Zeg, Starla, and Darrington got separated from Blaze. They drove right into some big mud puddles. Oh no, cried Stripes. This mud is really yucky, really sticky. Blaze, they called help. We're stuck in the mud. Look, their vehicles are stuck in this yucky mud. Gross. Here's the barn. So it looks like all their candy is at the barn. You see those buckets of candy? Okay. How are we going to save them with all this fog? Asked AJ. We can't even see where they are. Blaze had an idea. Let's use shadows to find our friends, he said. The light from the moon is shining down, and anything that blocks light makes a shadow. There's the moon in the shadow. Okay, one by one, Blaze spotted the shadows. He used a tow hook to pull his friend from the mud. There he is, pulling his friend from the mud with that hook. The trucks were happy to be saved. Now we've got to get our candy back, Blaze said. The trucks raced into the night. Okay, now they're going to get their candy back. Suddenly the trucks came to a screeching stop. Crusher had blocked the road with rocks. Zeg tried to push them out of the way, but they wouldn't budge. Then AJ spotted a fallen tree limb. I think there's something behind that branch, he said. He pushed it aside and saw a tunnel. Come on, everybody, said Blaze. This way. Okay. The trucks tried to race through the tunnel, but it was full of tickling spiders, and Blaze and his friends were laughing so hard they couldn't drive. Look, exclaimed AJ, those spiders are making a giant web. We'll be trapped. You see those webs? They're spiders making webs. I don't see the spiders though. Varoom, everyone needs to speed up and jump through the web before it's finished. Great job, everyone, said Blaze. This way to our candy. They're all hanging out, as you can see. Varoom, said his car. Meanwhile, Cruiser and Pickle had reached the barn. In the buckets of candy, they could hear Blaze and the other trucks zooming up behind them. Cruiser had an idea to stop them. A Robo-Pumpkin launcher. Pickle, who was now dressed as a shoe, stared at the machine. I wonder what does that Suddenly the machine began to hurl a metal Robo-Pumpkin into the sky right at Blaze and his friends. There it is, the machine hurling something into the sky. Blaze quickly transformed into a giant reciprocating saw. Now he couldn't stop flying Robo-Pumpkins by carving them. Blaze and AJ cut up every Robo-Pumpkin that flew their way. We came, we saw, we conquered, shouted Blaze. Bzzz. Blaze and his friends finally reached the barn, but they had to get Cruiser and Pickle away from the candy. Blaze decided to make a super spooky shadow show. AJ raised his cape and stepped in front of Blaze's bright lights. Nothing can stop me from getting candy now, Cruiser hooted. Not Blaze, not his friends, not even that giant spooky bat. Cruiser and Pickle zoomed away as fast as their tires could carry them. Blaze and his friends raced down to their buckets where they all started gobbling up their candy with delight. Happy Halloween, Blaze, said AJ as he grabbed his bucket. You too, said Blaze, tossing candy in his mouth. There they are communicating with each other. The spooky cabin. Okay, there they are. You see the bats? Okay, one day Rocky and Rubble were helping their friend Jake repair a rundown cabin in the woods. This must have been a cool mining cabin, said Rocky, and once we fix it up, it will be a cool old ski cabin, said Jake replied. There he is working on that cabin, and they're watching him work on it. It was time for lunch, but when Rubby opened his lunchbox, he saw that his food was gone. Jake said a ghost must have eaten it. Legend has it that the cabin is haunted by a hungry ghost. He explained. Then Jake's lunchbox rose from the porch and floated into the cabin. There they are having their lunch, talking to each other. Jake immediately called Ryder for help. He's on his cell phone. Hey Jake, we're here, Ryder shouted when he and Chase rode up to the cabin in their trucks. There they are riding up to the cabin. Ryder turned on his flashlight and pushed open the cabin's creaky door. Hello, is there a ghost in there? He said. Bats fluttered through the shadows as Ryder entered the dark cabin. Rocky and Rumble followed him nervously. There they are following him, and there's those bats. As they explored the gloomy cabin, Rumble found a hidden door and fell into a secret room. The others didn't know where he had gone. They're talking about him in a secret room. The ghost got him, Rocky said, but Ryder didn't believe in ghosts. He knew there had to be a logical explanation. You see, they're going to find him. They got that flashlight, and they're going to keep walking through until they find him. Outside, Chase's spy drone monitored the inside of the cabin. He reported to Ryder and Rubble was still there, and he's not alone, cried Chase. It was getting really spooky in the cabin. Lights were flashing on and off, doors rattled, and pictures shook, and they heard Rumble howling for help. It sounds like Rumble is behind the wall, said Ryder. There they are, looking inside the cabin with that flashlight. Ryder found a switch and flipped it. The secret door opened and Rumble tumbled out. Ryder, help! Rumble shouted. I wasn't scared. They found him, you see? Just then, Rocky saw some mice scurry across the floor. That explains the missing lunches. You see the little mouse on the ground? The little mice were eating the lunch. So the mice were the reason for the strange activities in the cabin. Look, Rocky said, the mice are making the paintings move, and they're making the lights flicker. You see the picture and the lights, and there's the little mouse all over. And hey, they're tickling my paws, Rumble said with a giggle. There they are, tickling his paws. You see the little mouse on his feet? To make sure the mice would stop haunting the cabin, Ryder and the pups built them a new house. They really liked the peanut butter dispenser. Rumble said, whenever you're in trouble, just boo for help, Ryder explained. One shimmer. Oh, okay, so I see there's another book in here. So, okay. So that's the end of